I think just coming up here, I mean, he's got the low one, no problem. He plays the more aggressive shot, loses the cue ball to the side cushion. And this shot, I think, was Xiao all over. I mean, he's not just trying to knock it in and nestle on a red. He's trying to open up others. So aggressive. I mean, even at this point, you're not thinking maximums or anything like that. And there, didn't play that one properly. Had a red to the far corner, but it was no problem. Right in the heart of the pocket. I mean, let's not forget the company that he was playing, and he's playing against Judd Trump, and absolutely no messing. I mean, even there, you're expecting maybe try and go into the reds that time, but happy to play on the loose one. And even there again, he prefers a kind of high black off the spot to a low one. It's unlike most players. And this was another telling shot. The plant that followed to play on the black, and that wasn't easy either. And it went, and at this stage you thought, okay, 64. The maximum was, I think, in everyone's mind at this point. Played a lovely shot off this black, round a couple of cushions for the straight red to middle. And of course, when this next red goes in, he's only got one thing on his mind. That was a bonus shot as well, wasn't it? Into them. He left the absolute perfect leave, the red to left middle.
Trump at this stage, I'm sure, would have been rooting for his opponent. He was a big fan of Jiahui before this match, and as we heard afterwards, an even bigger one after what he witnessed in this semi-final, which he spent most of it looking from his chair. Such was Xi's dominance.
Yeah, that was a clever shot here as well, playing on a couple of reds and getting rid of the tricky one of the three. And now it was a proper chance, wasn't it?
And yet, of course, still bags of pressure, something he'd never achieved before. And this needed some potting, never easy with the rest under this sort of pressure, but once again, no problem.
Yeah, this was a better shot than you'd think as well. You see, you're trying to not go deep on the cue ball to make sure he gets high on it. And even this, he punches the red in one cushion, where a lot of players would just be dropping that red in for the low black. Well, he gets the low black, and it looks a bit tricky, but the good thing about it was you get the pot, you're naturally going to be absolutely where you want to be on the yellow, just here.
An absolute deathly hush as brown, blue and pink were potted, but things change dramatically when Xi got down for the black and knocked it in. Great moment for him and the crowd, something he'll never forget. Whatever else he achieves in his career, his first ever 147 in front of his home crowd on his way to his second ranking final. Cameras poised for the moment of truth. And just listen to this roar. Judd Trump all smiles as well, appreciating the quality of that break. It was a fantastic moment on his way to an emphatic 6-2 win. But it's a rather different story at the moment for Jiahui in the final, with Xiao Guodong having pinched that fourth frame on the black. And at the first interval, he leads by 3 frames to 1. So we'll look back at the last couple of frames of this session, both eventful ones. Xiao Guodong had the early chance in the third. This was a great initial red from C. We've seen a lot of that from him over the last couple of years. What about this for a pot?
Yeah, that was a stunner, wasn't it? Made a poor safety error there, and Xiao Guodong gets his chance, and then, you know, he drops the black in. He missed a straightforward red that was incredible to give Jiahui this chance. That was to put him just about on the point of winning the frame. In went the pink for the century, and he got his final up and running. It was a terrific break on the back of a bad mistake by Xiao Guodong,
which unfortunately we didn't see, but it was a very straightforward red when he was going nicely and looking good for 3-0. So this frame all the more important for Xiao. And at one stage, things seemed to be going against him. It was quite a scrappy frame with a couple of the highest value colours in awkward spots for a lot of it. Jiahui gradually built a useful lead, but ultimately to no avail. Yeah,
to no avail on the back as well. Of a little bit of luck a couple of times actually in this break like that, getting nicely on the pink. But this miss blue was the kind of start of his troubles, and Xiao Guodong then chipped away at the lead. He did give C another chance a bit later on, as we'll get to see. Staying aggressive, as is his way with that double. No need to play it with a 16-point lead and 3 reds tied up. Made a good fist of this actually to set up what should have been a frame-winning contribution. Eventually he misses a pink playing on the last red. That was, well, not regulation, this pink coming up, but certainly well within his capabilities. Here it is. And it just landed below the middle pocket, where it helped Xiao Guodong with this clearance, because he didn't have that much to do off the red along the cushion. Knocked it in, and then of course needs pink and black, just looking to nestle this cue ball near the cushion. But as said, I think the pockets are playable, especially on the near jaw at dead weight. And that was the point I was making at the time. You tend to go on the near jaw because they're playing a wee bit more generous, and in it went, no problem.
A big moment for Xiao Guodong, disappointment for Jiahui, who would have been eyeing a 2-all scoreline. Delighted with that, having trailed 2-0 as it is.
Are you ready?
Who has that 2-frame buffer. But of course there are still a further 5 frames to come in this first session, and 10 is the target for the Wuhan Open title as the players return to the arena.
Frame 5.
The third all-Chinese ranking event final, the second that Xiao Guodong has contested, and he has the advantage after the first interval. 3-1 he leads, having won the fourth frame on the final black. Both of these players will hit a career high ranking if they win the title today. In the case of Xiao, he'll move up to 18th, one better than his previous best 9 years ago. And if Jiahui lifts the trophy, he'll be into the world's top 10 for the first time, just ahead of Ding Junhui.
You could say it was a bit unfortunate to push that red on, but I was surprised he didn't play off the main cluster of reds, because he was unlikely to push one to the left. So it's a kind of free chance again for Xiao.
One. Three. Four.
Certainly timing the ball nicely today. That was another example. Now it's probably easier to play a cannon into the reds here rather than drop on one.
Six.
Yeah, it just didn't get deep enough into the cue ball, so end of break. It looks that way. Well, he can get through, but it's all about his cue ball. Yeah, that's not bad if the blue's on.
Seven.
Once they get pushed up table, green will do nicely.
Was some way off that one.
Xiao
Of course, there was pressure on it, knowing that if he did miss, he was leaving C a chance. crowd have been treated to some brilliant snooker this week. Very heavy scoring, 77 centuries in all, including the 7th of the tournament for Jiahui to make it 2-1 before he lost on the black in the 4th frame. Once again, though, at the moment, an awkward-looking table with both pink and black not ideally placed.
Yeah, well played. Both players obviously looking to trap in behind that yellow. Yeah, it's a good line, but is it hard enough? This is a decent chance to get in behind that yellow. Good line. Yeah, nearly, but not quite.
I think Xiao was anticipating it was going to go behind the yellow. He was tapping the table long before the cue ball came to rest, but very congested, this top end. It's going to need a lot of sorting out, this frame, and that shot hasn't developed things.
putting ball.